sending us your photos, you responded in your thousands. The mosaic that's been created out of those pictures is now complete. It's been installed at the Towner Gallery in Eastbourne, where we can join Rob now. And Rob, it's been a hectic few weeks, hasn't it, getting this ready?
It absolutely has, I have to say. They've been flat out getting this sorted out because in those 6 weeks or so, 5,500 of you have sent in your photographs, and there's such an extraordinary range of them. Lots of photos of relatives, some sadly now departed, some ultrasound scans of people who haven't even been born yet, pictures of people's memories of past jubilees, of sporting triumphs, of parties that they've enjoyed. It's just the whole range. It's like a giant scrapbook album of photographs that are seemingly random and higgledy-piggledy. But if you take a few steps away, and this is the big reveal, the true pattern starts to show itself. This enormous work of art, standing 16 feet tall and 30 feet wide, is, of course, a portrait of Her Majesty the Queen. On the left, you can see her as she was on the eve of her coronation in 1953, and on the right, as she is today. And each one of those individual photographs has a person with their own story to tell. Robin Gibson's been to meet 3 of them.
It is the sum of all its parts, each fragment in this picture a moment of memory. There's happiness and sadness here, heart-rending and heartwarming.
If people can get the message that, you know, they can talk to Granny like anybody else. You know, she isn't stupid, she isn't deaf, and yes, she does take sugar. And, but, you know, if they can understand that message and talk to her, approach her, and not be scared of her just because she's in a chair.
Anna has cerebral palsy, but in this picture taken on her 18th birthday, she is a girl like any other, free and unfettered from all the things that hold her back.
It shows what we see every day. We see the person, we see the beauty, we see the serenity, the intelligence, the sense of humour.
People always look at my chair, not the person sitting in the chair. And I want to let other people see that I'm not a disabled girl.
But now you're a work of art. What do you think of that?
I feel amazing and privileged to be in the Jubilee.
Being a second-generation Indian, born in the UK, my friends saw me as British, my parents saw me as Indian, and I used to think I saw myself somewhere in between, but really as a British Indian.
There was something that gripped you about this Jubilee project.
I felt that was an important image to say this is still now, we still have a multicultural society, and it felt like a positive image to submit.
And you just saw so many people, and I didn't know where she was standing or anything, so it was sort of like I had to get past everyone else to try and find my wife.
The hug is Private Paul Wilson of the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment, safe home after 6 months in Afghanistan.
So I was just so nervous because I'd seen him for 1 week during R&R, and that was in December. But I hadn't seen him since then, and I was just so excited. Honestly, I was like a kid at Christmas.
A portrait of our Queen fittingly forged from the experiences of her people. Robin Gibson, BBC South East Today.
Well, in the last few moments, while Robin's film was playing there, we've let a number of people into the room to actually take a look at the picture for themselves. It's the first time that these people, whose photographs are actually in the mosaic, have had the opportunity to see what it looks like for themselves. And I think there's quite a great reaction. What do you think of it?
I'm not usually lost for words, but wow, it's amazing. And somewhere up there is my mum.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you ever so much. And let's have a chat with a couple of more people who are actually taking a look at it. This lady here, excuse me, madam, you've had the chance to actually just come in and take a look at it. What's your first impression?
Absolutely amazing. I didn't realise there were going to be 2 portraits, but I haven't found my mother yet.
So keep looking.
I will.
Well, let's have a chat with Helen Marshall, who is the artist who's actually put all this together. Helen, come over here. We've just been getting some marvellous reaction from people taking a look at it for the first time. Yeah. Are you pleased with it? It was a huge challenge to put it together.
Yes, I was working really flat out. I think I had about 1 day off in 6 weeks. Yeah, it's very emotional looking at everyone coming in actually, and recognising people from some of the photographs I selected. So them approaching me but not knowing them, yeah, it's really hard.
And of course, you've actually been taking a look at all the individual stories of people that have put in. There's been some really quite moving stories, haven't there?
What's most moving is feeling like I haven't fulfilled the project, because there's just so many stories and so many thousands of people that sent in photos and stories, and we've only been able to represent a few here through the showcase.
And of course, it is a tribute to Her Majesty. Why did you decide in the end to go for 2 images of the Queen?
Well, partly because of the format. If you look behind you, it's quite hard to fit one face in a very panoramic format. But also, I feel quite strongly that Queen's like a household icon, not a celebrity. So I wanted sort of that to come out in some of the iconography of before and after, and also how we've got lots of very old photographs mixed in with new technology. So that was the concept.
It really comes across beautifully. Helen, well done. Thank you ever so much. Well, let's have a chat with a couple more people who are actually finding where they are in their pictures. If I shove my way to the front here, excuse me, terribly sorry if we come through. Now, here's a lady, Baljit. Hello, Baljit. You've managed to find your photo here. What do you think?
Well, it's great to see my image amongst all these people, and it feels like, well, I feel very patriotic. It feels like a great big family. Amazing.
And because that photo was actually taken, what, 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yes, over 10 years ago. It was a university piece, and it still feels very current, and that's what I love about it. I don't think it'll ever...
You're an artist yourself, aren't you? So what do you make of this as a piece of art? Does it work?
Yes, it does. It's like with any image with regards to portraiture, it evolves, it carries on, it never ages. As long as it's got an important message, which I think all of these have that message.
This is your little boy here?
This is the next generation.
What do you make of it? Do you like the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why do you like it?
It's made out of loads of pictures and it's only 2 faces.
Fantastic. Thank you ever so much. And we've got a couple here who you saw in Robin's piece a moment ago, Philippa and Paul. You've managed to find your picture, I think, haven't you? What do you think of it?
Oh, it's just magnificent. It really is just...
It's breathtaking, the work that's gone into this, and it's just credit where credit's due. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll be returning back here in just a few moments' time to have a chat with the artistic director of the Towner Gallery and some more of the people who contributed their photographs to this extraordinary artwork.
It is, Rob. Thanks very much. Amazing stuff. It's 14 minutes to 7. This is our top story tonight. Now, after weeks of painstaking work and a great deal of enthusiasm from you, our viewers, we finally revealed our Jubilee mosaic image of Her Majesty the Queen. So let's get back to the Towner Gallery in Eastbourne, where Rob is. And Rob, it looks fantastic. You've been getting great reaction as well, haven't you?
Now, Natalie, I have to say it's very difficult to hear what's going on there because there's a real excited hubbub going on here in the gallery. What I can tell you, though, is that everybody is doing their best to find where they are in the picture. It's part of the great challenge and the great excitement of this particular work of art. Matthew Rowe is the artistic director here at the Towner Gallery in Eastbourne. Matthew, as a work of art, are you pleased with it? Does it do what it should do?
Totally. It's incredibly convincing, and actually it includes 5,000 participants, and contemporary art is all about involving people, using technology, and this is just a fantastic celebration.
And the thing is, it's really, I mean, it works on so many levels, doesn't it? But the great thing is there's so many stories that come out of it.
Well, totally, and it's stories in terms of personal stories, but also how we use photographs to commemorate important events in our lives and how that's changed over the 60 years. So we start off with quite formal portraits and end up with very kind of informal moments of transitory time, which I think makes it a very spellbinding installation.
And physically, was it difficult to actually get in, you know, because there's a lot of big panels there, they had to all be brought in and stuck onto the wall. Was it actually a difficult thing technically to do?
Well, we had to do it in a very methodical manner, using scaffolding towers. It's such a large work, but I think this building is designed to show contemporary art, and this is a great piece of ambitious contemporary art.
And it's going to be here on display to the public for free for the next couple of weeks, isn't it?
Well, yes, Towner is very proud to be hosting this exhibition, and it's on until the 10th of June. It's free entry, and on the 2nd and 3rd of June we'll be running more workshops with the artist Helen Marshall.
Excellent. Thank you ever so much for that. Well, let's have a chat with a few more people who've been looking for their images here. Now, we heard from Anna in Robin's piece earlier on. Anna, thank you ever so much for being with us. Your portrait in the picture is absolutely beautiful. You've had the opportunity to have a bit of a think about your reaction to the piece. What do you make of it?
I feel overwhelmed by the sheer size and the beauty of the masterpiece.
Brilliant. Anna, thank you ever so much. And it's just a beautiful work of art. You can see that everybody who's actually reacting to it are finding their own way of expressing themselves. Let's have a chat with a man who's actually come all the way from Madrid, I believe, especially to be here today. Nigel, tell us about your picture.
Well, it's 34 years old, and when I heard about this amazing project, the first thing in my mind was to try and get my dog, who only had a very short career but a brilliant one, a place in it, and just a little place in this piece of history.
So you were with Kent Police back then, were you?
Yes, I was, yeah. That photograph was taken at Ramsgate.
And what do you make of this as a work of art? Are you pleased to be part of it?
Absolutely amazing. I'm really, really pleased for myself and for the dog as well.
So it was worth making the trip back from Madrid, was it?
Absolutely so, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now let's have a chat with a young man called Max here, who's very proud to have sent his picture in. Hello, Max. How are you doing?
Good.
Jolly good. This is your picture that's actually in the portrait, isn't it? Tell us about this day. Why is this a good picture for you? And you really like being on tractors and lawnmowers and things like that, don't you? Yeah.
Your What's your favourite? Cutting the grass? For me?
And do you like the picture of the Queen?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you ever so much for being in that. So as I say, lots of people who've actually got all sorts of different ways of representing their own lives and their own relationships with the royal family, with us as a programme. If you actually want to see where you are in this picture, you can do so by going to our Facebook page or to bbc.co.uk/Kent/Surrey/Sussex. Follow the link on that and you can actually zoom right in and find your own photograph actually on the whole image itself. Now let's find out what's going to be going on with the weather for the next day or so. Rachel is down here at the town as well, and it has been glorious sunshine all day long, Rachel.
Yes, that's right. It's been very